So you've just finished your first year of beekeeping, and you know what? I really loved it. I want more bees. I'm going to get 20 hives, nay, 100 hives. I'm sorry, but you may have bee fever. Now I may look smart and devastatingly handsome. That was sarcasm. But I'm also very impulsive. I'm very headstrong, and if I get something between my teeth, I just go whole hog into it. I'm a serial hobbyist, which means that I get into a hobby and I just blow my bank account, really getting into it, and yeah, it's a bloody nightmare. And I nearly did that with beekeeping, and this is something that you may fall for as well, because it's well documented. Fortunately, I married a Yorkshire woman, and she is slow, methodical, and tighter than anyone else in the world. She does not like to spend a penny unless she really needs to spend a penny. And it was that thriftiness that helped stop me from getting stuck in bee fever. Because while I was wanting to buy 100 hives, she was saying, no, you're not spending our wedding fund on your new hobby, which at the time I was furious about. I was so angry. But looking back now, I'm so glad that she did. She gave me 3 hives max. You're only allowed 3 hives. And then from that moment on, all you're allowed to do is buy things that the business pays for. So I needed to earn money from the bees to be able to buy new equipment, like that. This really slowed me down. But it meant that I could learn the hobby first. Sometimes it's very easy to get into a hobby and just go whole hog into it. As I said, I know. Without any of the actual knowledge or information or experience. And experience with beekeeping is massive. Before you get into hundreds of colonies, you need to learn the basics. Hive management is super important. I've said this in another video because you need to learn how to deal with swarms. Swarming is a big thing with bees. They all want to do it all the time. It's a bloody nightmare. You also need to learn all your diseases and how to deal with diseases as well. You also need to learn how to do queen rearing, because if a colony loses their queen, you're going to have to create another one. You're going to have to find a way of doing that as well. And if you don't have this knowledge in a basic with just 3 or 4 hives, then there's no way you're going to be able to keep on top of it with hundreds and hundreds. So bee fever tricks you into thinking that you're ready before you actually are. And you always end up spending way too much money, getting too many hives too fast, and then it all blows up in your face after the 2nd year, and that's how your hobby dies. And it becomes a massive waste of time. There you are. You clearly got into beekeeping for a reason. I don't know what that reason is. Everyone has loads of different reasons why they get into it. And sometimes it's because they love bees. Sometimes they love the idea of husbandry, so animal husbandry. Sometimes they just like animals and pets. Sometimes they want to help pollinate the plants or fields nearby and in the garden. Sometimes they just want to get some free honey, But it's this that you need to keep in mind. If you want to keep doing this hobby, that's great. For all those things that you've just said, you don't need that many hives. Like, I'd say 2 or 3, most of all, would do most people just as a hobbyist. If you're wanting to do this as a business, then do what I did or what my wife made me do. And that is just do it slowly. Grow with the bees. Slowly catch a monkey. Let the bees pay for themselves. If you sell all your honey and you've got a few £100 left, that's a hive. You can buy a hive for £250. Sorted. There you go. Then the next year, you can then learn how to split. You can split hives. Fill that new hive with bees. Or you can learn how to do some queen rearing or make a nuke or something along those lines. You can do little bits and bobs, and you're always getting more experience. You're gaining more knowledge, and it's step by step by step by step. You want to get to the stage where if you've got 12 hives swarming, another hive has got a possible disease, so you want to be able to not have to think about it. You just go, right, they're swarming, find the queen, boom, split, sorted, let them deal with swarm cells. I'll knock most of them down apart from one. next one, goes to the next one. Possible disease, close that up, take it straight to the quarantine apiary, don't mess about. And that's what you want to do. You want to be able to know exactly what you're doing without having to think about it. And you only get that from experience and just from knowledge. Look at what I've got. I did that. I've got plenty of hives. I've got plenty of equipment. And it all worked out. I've not spent any more on my own colonies than I did the initial 3 hives and the initial 2 nukes at the beginning. That's it. Every single other thing that you see here has been paid for by the bees, because that's what you do with a business. You reinvest. You take money and then you put more money in. That's it. It's nice and simple, isn't it? As I said, it slows you down enough so that you learn the hobby before you go into something professional. I understand waiting is boring, it's frustrating, and you just want to crack on and get going. I know that most of all because, well, I'm pushing 40 now, and it feels like I really need to be up here rather than here. But you've just got to take your time. As soon as you start rushing, that's when things start to go wrong, and that's when you stop enjoying the hobby. So it's worth it. We all want that rush of excitement, especially nowadays when attention spans are so... what was I saying? But if you take your time, you can integrate the bees into your life, which means that you'll actually get more and more enjoyment for a longer period of time. Just take your time. Let the bees show you how much of a good beekeeper you are. Because they will. They'll stop being stingy, they'll start producing more honey, and then once you've started getting it down with 3 hives, then move forward like that. So 3 colonies, learn the craft, and try not to bankrupt yourself in the meantime. Or if you can, marry a Yorkshire lass, and then you don't have to worry about it at all, because she'll do it all for you. Have a good day. Bye-bye.